So I'm opening financial news, and what do I see? I see bad news for Virgin Galactic. If you are watching stocks, you're always interested what analysts are saying, and analysts can actually move stocks quite significantly. There will be one topic that is definitely spoken much about it, and this is Blair Rich, the new boss, so let's say, of the business side, president for business.
I say euphemistically, like we want to be a wearable brand, right? Like a brand you want to wear. Not because you make clothes or anything. In other words, like it should be a thing, like a badge, like that you have this connection to that.
Before we diving into the content, let's talk about GSX being the backbone of the huge financial system. Yeah, you heard it right. They just introduced Nox Wire, a global payment system that banks will use because it's faster, more destinations, and it's basically for free. So why banks are using that to gain more traction with this crypto technology, and GSX will be a huge part of it. And GSX will not only be the reserves of banks, but also be used in this ecosystem. So what are you waiting for? Get your hands on GSX, either on the Bitmart exchange or with the link below with your credit card. So I'm opening financial news, and what do I see? I see bad news for Virgin Galactic, or news that is not really important, okay? Because if you are watching stocks, you're always interested what analysts are saying, and analysts can actually move stocks quite significantly, but in this case it didn't happen, okay? Let me tell you the whole story. So Bernstein cuts Virgin Galactic price target, worries about appetite for space, okay? While this is an article behind the paywall, I cannot, read what is inside, but, it says Bernstein slashed expectation for Virgin Galactic share price and questioned the prospects of high growth investing this year and beyond. And when those are coming out, usually the stock can move in either direction quite significantly. But there's another tool I want to show you first, is TipRanks. TipRanks is a company that you can just put in the analyst or the stock, and then you can see how the analysts are talking about it. So quite useful thing, and I always look into that. For example, if there's like a famous analyst that putting a new price target, I see how is his performance and so on. So unfortunately I cannot do that right now because it was behind a paywall and I don't see the analyst's name and so on and so forth. However, those are insignificant news in my personal opinion, because if you are looking into space right now, and today seems to be a good market day by the way as well, we are at $8.88. The number 8 is a lucky number in China and Asia. So let's hope that continues. Yesterday we closed almost 2% higher. Today pre-market almost 2% higher. So it's important now what the CPI data comes on Thursday, I think. But we know that it will be bad. Okay, so there will be not big surprises, I guess. Without that, or this put to the side, we have earnings in 14 days, and for sure there will be one topic that is definitely spoken much about it, and this is Blair Rich, the new boss, so let's say, of the business side, president for business. And I think this is a very, very interesting move. If you want to know about the news itself, watch yesterday's live stream where I talked about this breaking news. But I want to show you in this video a little bit of what she says about Virgin Galactic in a small video that I found online.
Talk about what you're doing, really interesting, what you're doing with Virgin Galactic, and talk a little bit about, explain, a lot of people know what it is, but some may not. So explain what they're about, and explain what you're charged with helping them do there.
Sure. So Virgin Galactic is a consumer space line. Our ambition is to take regular people, customers to space. It's space tourism. It is fascinating. I'm learning so much.
I can't imagine.
I'd say from the audience's point of view, I think what's been really interesting to me, just in terms of how this happened, I was approached by the CEO because he's looking at this through the consumer lens, and we will be taking customers to space and have this sort of private astronaut experience. It's a 90-minute flight, and we go up through the Earth's atmosphere and into, you have, time in zero gravity, and then you get back to your seat and you fly back, and it's this, shockingly comfortable sort of 90-minute experience. We take you up, you look back down on the Earth, you have this transcendent, life-changing experience. And the idea is that when you come back down, what do you do with said experience? How has this sort of like perspective, this life-changing perspective on Earth, kind of changed what you want to do when you return?
Mm-hmm.
And how are we going to articulate a sense of community around the people who have these experiences to really make that moment last and have impact in how you want to kind of live through that experience when you're back?
That's interesting.
And
a lot of that.
And that is something that I thought was really great. When I got the call, candidly, I said to the CEO, I was like, so I'm from the movie business. All I know about space is I worked on Gravity and Interstellar, like both huge successes, yes, but not real. And I was sort of confused, to be honest, as to why they were calling me. The interesting part, and this is the other thing I love so much about marketing, is that what I really am is I'm a brand storyteller. I know how to come up with a narrative for a brand, and I really understand, I think, how to connect that sort of narrative with the customer, with the consumer. Right. And what I'm really doing now is I'm helping them come up with their brand strategy and kind of launch the consumer part of their business. And all that means. I'm advising the CEO, and it's really fascinating because it is all storytelling to an extent. It's all about the same thing I did with movies. It's how do I make you have an emotional connection to what this is? How do I create a passion-driven brand out of this? How do I sort of put myself out in culture in a way that's going to make you lean in, take notice? What's going to create that sort of cultural curation that gives you affinity towards this, right? And how does that matter? And I spend a lot of time trying to figure out like the value of a brand fan and a company's value being comprised as much about its intangible assets as its tangible assets. And there's this sort of this new world business reality now, right? You see all these IPOs and like, how are some of these companies? It was the Netflix story forever. Like, are you kidding? Like, and now look, right? Yep. And why something like a DoorDash when it goes public, or any other thing, why it has this value. And it's very important in this day and age that you have this sort of relationship with the consumer. I say euphemistically, like we want to be a wearable brand, right? Like a brand you want to wear, not because we make clothes or anything. In other words, like it should be a thing, like a badge, like that you have this connection to, that has this sort of, cultural cachet and that's meaningful to people, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make space available to all. Like right now, when we reopen sales later this year, the ticket is a high price ticket, obviously. And that is, that's what it is. But the idea is that over time, and with the reason Richard Branson has pursued this as a live stream, is that over time you can bring that down and create opportunity for the next generation where more and more people can have this experience, and we sort of make space available to all. And it was like airplanes. It was super expensive in the 40s and 50s, and only a certain customer base could go, right? Exactly like that. And this notion of like people, this has always been an experience that has been controlled by governments, which meant it was extraordinarily restrictive, right? In all of human history, 562 people have gone to space. I mean, you think about that. I mean, infinitesimal, right?
Nothing.
Like, yet there's no human on Earth anywhere who doesn't wonder about it. Who doesn't stare at it. You come out of the womb, you're encoded in your DNA. You look up, you have this connection. And so why isn't this for everybody? Why can't you feel that you can explore it? Why can't you feel that you have this, next level connection to it? And that's what we're all about. And that's what the story I'm trying to help them tell.
No, that's great. It's really exciting. I would think one way it's a little different than the movie business is here it's a new product. It's a new concept. So how much of your marketing, and is this a challenge for you? How much of it is, I got to actually explain to people what this is, and I'm trying to develop an emotional connection? There's sort of, it seems like there's two pieces there.
There's definitely two pieces. There's definitely a lot of explanation. There's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of more people need to know that this is here and it exists.
Mhm.
I honestly don't find that challenging. Like half the
Okay.
movies I put on, they weren't stories people knew. Nobody knew what they were about. You
Mhm.
had to explain everything in bite-sized pieces usually, you know. I don't find that challenging.
Good.
So as you can see, fantastic to have such a young, innovative, great leader into the major team of Virgin Galactic. And this is just one thing that happened behind the scenes. And this is something that even analysts cannot see, right? So I don't put too much weight into that. I really like what they are doing and still improving, you know, not only their hardware, but also the commercial side, okay? Their operation side. With the team increase, the people that they get into it, you know, from Michael Koglaser over, you know, the new guys at the engineering, now Blair Rich, they are doing right steps because think about it. People make business and everything is based on people. People will make your clients happy, it will make your product good, it will make your company grow. So people is the fundamental of a fantastic company. Like Tesla wouldn't be where it is right now without great people, right? So I think that the things that you read, the keywords, you know, innovation, very progressive and very pushing to the edges. You know, when you hear and associate these keywords with Blair Rich, it's great because you don't want to, you know, have like a veteran or whatever, you know. In this position, you need someone that thinks outside the box, that is super, you know, pushing the people to the edges to deliver the unbelievable, because this is what people expect from a space company in the end of the day, okay? This is a space company, guys. This is not like a car company or a tech startup. It's basically a space company, okay? So people, when spending $400,000, $500,000 per seat, they want to expect the highest ever, you know, support in terms of experience, the great visions that they get back when they come back to Earth. I think this is something that no other company can give. And as we know, there's just 3 space companies that shoot people into the space. This is just ridiculous if you just think about it. And all of them are private, guys. How cool is that? There's a lot of things to follow into the space sector. And I think that what you should definitely watch will be the earnings in 2 weeks, because there could be some surprises. I will make a separate vlog about that. But today is just like a catch up on the news, you know, with the Analyst. And guys, I can tell you from experience, when I was investing into Tesla 2018, 2019, there was so bad sentiment, okay? I mean, you have seen the sentiment just right now on tip ranks, okay? If I just open it again, you see here, smart score is 2. The average person say hold, an average price target is 15, which is still double the price of now. People are saying, okay, it's more like neutral sentiment in blogger opinions. By the way, I'm curious if they also include me there. Anyway, then hedge fund activity increased by 900 shares, okay, which is not much if it's not millions. No, apparently it's not millions. So anyway, insider sold, obviously, you know, Richard Branson and so on. Tip ranks, investors, very negative. News sentiment, very bearish. Technicals, negative. Momentum, negative. Return on equity, negative. You know, so I think that this is the perfect starting position for a company if you want to have a huge turnaround and invest into a company that is, you know, bringing innovation and growth. This reminds me that I think that you are absolutely seeing that those opinions doesn't matter. What really matters is you make your own research, you make your own decisions. There's always never financial advice, but you know, it's important to make your own knowledge base to make those decisions and learn how and why you invest in companies, okay? Because later on, it's easy to say, oh, why you know, the stock went up and down. You need to find out what moves the market and why, and then you are on the edge of investing and can become a full-time investor one day, okay? I made it within 2 years with Tesla stock, and this is also a big investment for me, so it must basically work out, and it will work out if they just continue this path.